Yeah.
Well, that is the question of the day. I love working with Guillermo del Toro, and he says he loves working with me. But The Hobbit, there's no casting news yet. I know. No, soon. I have, for over a year now, there's been talk about it, rumors on the internet, and people guessing and hoping. Me too. Yeah. Yo también. So Guillermo he's been like, wink, wink. So I think yes, but I don't know for sure. Last year at the Saturn Awards up in Los Angeles, it's like the sci-fi, horror, comic book Oscars, awards. I'm sorry?
The Horror Fest of the Angel?
The
Horror Fest?
The horror, no, not Horror Fest. The Saturn Awards is just like a...
Scream Awards?
Not Scream, no, it's different, all different.
The Oscars of the sci-fi horror.
Yeah, it's like the Academy Awards of horror and sci-fi. We were on the red carpet at the same time last year. I was presenting an award, he was receiving an award, so we were both there at the event. A TV journalist asked the same question, but we were together, and he said, "So, Guillermo, what do you have for Doug in The Hobbit?" I'm standing right there, so I said, "Well, tell the nice man. I'd love to hear that." So Guillermo said, "Oh, well, I'm sure you'll be seeing Doug in some kind of pain and torture." But I have nothing official to report. But let me say this. If I direct a hemorrhoid commercial, Doug Jones will be in it. That's what he said. So I've been clinging and hoping on that. If I could be a hemorrhoid on Smog the Dragon, I would be happy.
And I want to add, if Guillermo's watching this, I'll be hemorrhoid number 2. To work for you would be a dream. Honestly. Por favor. I want to be better than you, so I'm going to say.
Oh, I know. Yeah, okay. He has time to prepare, though. I'm like, oh, he's going. I'm going. I do believe that comic books play a very important part in today's culture. I think because of that magical word called escape. I believe that we all need escape now more than ever to go off into a fantasy land, and we also need heroes now more than ever. And I think that what comic books do is they inspire us to be that hero in our own life. Movies, and that's what I love about movies like when I got to have the chance to play in The Silver Surfer or in both Hellboy movies. Both of those experiences for me, and also I did a small part in Batman Returns many years ago, and Mystery Men, if anyone saw that, I had a little cameo in that. So comic books and superheroes is something that I do. But I find that what these movies do, and the fan response that I get, is that people are inspired to, you get to go to the movie, you get to watch this fantasy world happening, and maybe some of it's in outer space, and some of it's with superheroes with superpowers, and by going into that fantasy world, you get to forget all of your troubles, but you also are empowered to go back home after the movie's finished and tackle those troubles and punch them in the face with your superpowers. I think that's what comic books offer us.
Okay, no, that's okay. Thank you. I actually tried to not listen to anything that Doug said. It's funny that you bring that up, and you know, I'm in Mexico, and I know my editor is not going to be watching this, but in case it ends up on YouTube, I'm going to tell the editor. I'm producing actually a documentary called "The Comics of Influence in America." I'm one of the producers on it, and part of what attracted me to the deal back then was I used to work for Dark Horse Comics, and I used to work in a comic book shop. That was, you know, any young actor has to have a day job, otherwise you won't have a place to live. And in working at the comic book shop, you wouldn't believe the amount of people of all ages, didn't matter how old they were coming in to buy comic books. And I wasn't a comic book fan growing up myself. I was more of a visual movie fan. I mean, I want to be an actor. I didn't have time to read. I had time to watch. But over the course of the past 10 years, I have seen how much comics mean to people in their hearts. And when I was asked to come on board, partly to produce this thing, well, actually, they were using me because I had connections to Stan Lee